How's it going, guys? Alright, I wanted to discuss the Xbox One's basically lack of exclusives, and I'm gonna say this right now. Yes, I know the Xbox One does have exclusives. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying it's very clear there's not much. And to show you the type of person I am before you start calling me a fanboy, I'm gonna say this. I do have an original Xbox, and I do have an Xbox 360, but no, I don't have an Xbox One yet because I just have not seen enough games to justify the purchase, but this is Sid Mora X. This is an excellent shoot 'em up. I don't have an Xbox One, but I wanted to support this game, so I did pre-order this, but I also bought this on PlayStation 4 because I do have a PlayStation 4, but I really wanted to support this game, so I bought both versions. And yes, I've also pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch version as well, even though I don't have a Nintendo Switch yet. I'm showing you guys this to show you that I am not a fanboy. If there is great games on a system, no matter what system it is, I will get them. But my point is, there's just not enough at this point for me to justify getting an Xbox One. But that being said, here are all the games that I would guarantee that I would get right now. And these are the following games I would get only if they get a physical release. Cuphead, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Crimson Dragon. You see where I'm going here? Like, I will buy these games if they're physical. If they stay digital, I won't. Also, there's two shoot 'em ups coming to Xbox One that apparently are getting physical releases, and apparently they may just stay exclusive, unlike Raiden 5, which is coming to PlayStation 4, which I have pre-ordered. If these two do stay Xbox One exclusives and they're physical, and they're good, then that's another two games I would pick up. And these are the following games I would potentially consider. ReCore looked interesting, though I know it's getting a definitive edition, which apparently is going to fix the problems in the game, so I guess that's a bonus in a way, but State of Decay looked interesting, but I've never tried it, so I'm not sure. State of Decay 2 looked good from the trailers, but again, because I haven't tried the first one, I'm not sure. Halo Wars 2 looks good, but I've never tried the first Halo Wars, so I really need to do that, so I'm not sure. Crackdown 3 looked interesting, but it didn't look amazing to me. And I've never tried the first or second Crackdowns, and it got delayed till next year anyway, so I'm not sure. Sea of Thieves, I admit, I like the art style. It looks like it's going to be fun, but it's an online-only game. There's no single player, so I'd have to buy Xbox Live just to play it. So it's definitely not jumping at me yet. And also, next year, Ubisoft is releasing a game called Skull and Bones, which is a very similar game, but a darker tone. And it's going to have both single-player and multiplayer, and the fact that it's a multiplat. So I'm more inclined to get that, and I am afraid that could cause Sea of Thieves some serious competition. If Sea of Thieves were to get a single-player story campaign, then I would be more interested. Or at least, like, maybe a 4-player local co-op. That could actually be fun. There's definitely a lot of ways Sea of Thieves could be a bigger, better game, and maybe it's going to eventually be that, but for now I'm just not seeing enough to justify picking it up. Here's the truth. The one game the Xbox One had that was coming out that caught my attention, that really opened my eyes, was Scalebound. That looked interesting. That looked like it was going to be great, and something I wanted to play. It got cancelled. And I admit, I'm not happy about that. And so are a lot of other people. I'm not saying Scalebound alone was going to be enough for me to justify picking up the system, but it was definitely a big reason, and now it's gone. And I keep hoping they bring it back, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. I admit, if Scalebound were to come back and it came out and it's amazing, that might be the tipping point for me to consider getting an Xbox One, but at this point, I'm just not seeing enough games. I admit, the Nintendo Switch right now to me is looking more appealing than the Xbox One is. Now maybe that's going to change. Microsoft is saying they have all these games in the works, but the problem is, They're years away. They could be 2.5, 3 years away. By that point, we're going to be in the next generation of consoles. You're going to have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 2. You see my point. Microsoft does not have the exclusives that they need. Microsoft has actually closed down studios instead of opening new ones. They have the money, but they're not investing in game development. At least not enough of it. And while I know like the console has Gears of War and Halo, but I know the last two titles were not exactly amazing. And I admit, I've never really tried those series, though Gears of War looks interesting, but either way, the last two games were not exactly outstanding. But I'm sure the next Halo and Gears of War, Microsoft is going to do their best to try and make them great games. But again, they're not necessarily appealing to me. And it's an established series, so it's not going to draw in more of an audience. On the other hand, like I'm going to bring up Scalebound again. There are a lot of people out there that say Scalebound was not going to be a console seller, but there are several people that have said they bought an Xbox One for Scalebound. So, I'm not convinced. I think it would have been a console seller. Maybe not a huge one, but definitely an impact. Another major issue is the Xbox One X is coming out and there's really nothing major. Forza 7, while it looks good, but I've never really tried the series, and I'm sure it's going to be a great game, but again, it's not something for everybody. And while Cuphead is definitely getting a lot of attention, and I want to play that, but there's no physical release despite the huge hype, and I do think Microsoft, that's a big mistake. And Super Lucky's Tale, which looks like an interesting platformer, it caught my attention, it's something I want to play. Like I said, guys, I'm not saying the Xbox One has no exclusives, but the point is, there's not much, and the Xbox One X, with its very expensive price point, is coming out without any big titles. And that's not good. Now, yes, you can argue the PS4 Pro did the same thing, but let's remember, January, you started seeing games from Sony that have PlayStation 4 Pro support. And look at Horizon. Now that's a fine example of what the PlayStation 4 Pro can do. And it looks amazing. And I admit, I don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro. And I'm not interested in getting one because I don't have a 4K TV, so it's not an interest to me. But Microsoft is pushing the Xbox One X hard. And they don't have a major showpiece. Forza 7, I know, is going to show off the Xbox One X, but not to the max. And again, it's a racing game. It's not for everybody. So, it's just that. Microsoft does not have the games at this point. Maybe Microsoft is going to surprise us and show off some more amazing stuff. And I mean, I get it. Microsoft doesn't want to show off games too early. And I understand that. That makes perfect sense. But they got to get their act together and get us some amazing games. I mean, really. At this point, they just don't have much. And like next year, like I gotta say, like it looks like Sony's just gonna have one excellent exclusive after another. You have Spider-Man, God of War, potentially Detroit Become Human, maybe even Days Gone. It's like Sony pretty much could potentially crush Microsoft again next year with exclusives. Like I have a PlayStation 4, and so far all the exclusives I've played from Sony, I really enjoy, and I think they're amazing games. So my advice to Microsoft is you have to invest in game development, you have to open new studios, you have to really focus on creating some amazing experiences if you want your console to succeed. Alright guys, this is the end of my discussion on the Xbox One lacking exclusives. Let me know down in the comments your opinion on this situation. Like, what do you feel about the Xbox One's lack of exclusives? Do you agree with me or do you not? What are some games you think you'd like to see Microsoft maybe revive? And maybe some new IPs? Like, let me know down in the comments what you think. I will talk to you guys later. This is the Entertainment Wizard, signing off.